The statue at the University of Cape Town, one of Africa's top academic institutions, has been covered up for the past few weeks as both white and black students regularly marched past with the hashtag #Rhodes-must-fall placards calling for its removal. They believe it's a symbol of the racism against blacks that prevails in South Africa 2 decades after the end of oppressive white minority rule. Splattered with graffiti, it was hoisted by crane onto a truck from its tall granite plinth overlooking a rugby pitch as thousands of watching students cheered.
Well, look behind me. Half of the Confederate monument has been taken down at this point. Officials say demolition crews will return this morning to finish the job. As you mentioned, protesters angry about the Henry County Board of Commissioners' decision to remove the monument showed up for the second night in a row. A number of those protesters also showed up armed for the second night in a row. Police were here as well to keep protesters away from demolition crews. At 10 p.m., demo crews began tearing down the Confederate statue that stood in McDonough Square since 1911. Many of those protesters, forced to watch from behind barricades, were unhappy about the police presence.
Kate, overnight here in Boston's Columbus Park, the Christopher Columbus statue was beheaded, and now police are trying to figure out who did this. Christopher Columbus is credited with discovering America. A national holiday is named in his honor, but his story is controversial for his violent treatment and killings of Native Americans. Many Native Americans have denounced Columbus as a racist, and now many cities and towns across the country and here in Massachusetts have rejected the holiday and instead celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day.
Activists across the U.S. have targeted symbols glorifying figures and causes linked to racism and white supremacy, using both legal and illegal means to take down the public images. In Richmond, Virginia, a statue of Jefferson Davis, the former president of the Confederacy, was pulled to the ground Wednesday night. Earlier that day, a crowd in Portsmouth, Virginia, attacked the statue of a Confederate soldier with paint and hammers and tried to set it ablaze. In Minneapolis on Wednesday, a statue of Columbus came crashing down. Democratic governors in Kentucky and Virginia have ordered symbols glorifying the Confederacy removed, orders that have been challenged in court.
No estoy de acuerdo en tener ese tipo de monumentos en la calle porque pienso que representan represión o también un tipo de represión que hubo en esa época. Entonces, para mí debería de haber otro tipo de monumentos que incentiven otro tipo de pensamiento que tener a estas personas en un monumento como tipo idolatrándolas cuando son personas que la...
This was the scene just a couple of hours ago where the statue, first unveiled in 1904, was brought to the ground and covered in paint. It's unclear if there's any permanent damage to the monument. The statue of Queen Elizabeth II, adjacent to the government house, was also toppled over. And this video posted to social media appears to show the moments right after the statue of Queen Victoria was brought down. People placing red handprints on the base of the statue and the statue itself.
In a downtown Nairobi park in Kenya, an empty plinth marks a spot where Britain's Queen Victoria was once memorialized. The statue was torn down and beheaded by vandals 5 years ago. One local resident said colonial statues should be taken down all over the world due to the painful memories they evoke.